Hey guys, I hope you can hear this. So, I decided I want to go into, I want to engage about the IBV for preterist position. So, because we don't focus that much on IBV, we focus a lot on CBV, but we really should focus on IBV a little bit. So, I'm going to just go into this a little bit here. So, some problems that are with the IBV full preterist position that the Lord's second coming happened in or by 70 AD. Number one, they revise history solely to fit their agenda of promoting full preterism. And this is no different than Don Preston and the CBV people redefining everything to match their stuff. So, number two, I'm going to give like 12 points. So, number two, at least for Ed Stevens, he admits to having an argument of silence with his supposed rapture event that supposedly happened in 70 AD. Number three, the second coming and the resurrection of the dead are supposed to be a universal and cosmic event that affects every person from all ages, from the beginning to the end. They only have it for those before 70 AD being affected. It's also supposed to be that all the tribes will mourn. All the tribes will know that Jesus is God and that he's come. But this is not universal to the IBV full preterist. They don't have that. They make it to where he seems to not, nobody seems to know that he came back until the IBV full preterist got here. So that's a problem. Number three, or number four, St. John the Apostle would have had to go from apostle to apostate or have been lying about who he was to Saints Polycarp, Ignatius, Clement, and others because he is very much alive and documented to exist after 70 AD and lives until the reign of Trajan. At least four early church fathers document this to be the case, and this is a problem because the historical evidence does not support the IBV full preterist claims on this. Uh, Number five, going off of number four, Saint John taught Saint Clement, Ignatius, and Polycarp. They can't get around this, but they try to by claiming that someone like, say, Saint Clement was raptured in 70 AD, and then they also pull some more historical revisionist stuff. Now, you could maybe we give them the benefit of the doubt with Clement, okay? You still have the problem of St. Ignatius and St. Polycarp. So, were they lying that St. John taught Polycarp? Like Polycarp says that St. John taught him. St. Irenaeus also says it. So, that seems to be a problem. Um, Number six, St. Ignatius, unanimously according to the traditions, uh, was the child that Jesus used in one of his lessons. So are we to believe that that child that Jesus picked out of the group of people was destined to become an apostate? That seems a little bit like a far stretch, honestly. Number seven, no secular sources exist claiming that there was a rapture event. There's also no Christian, Jewish, or any source for that matter that claims that there was a rapture that took place. That seems to be a problem. That's also partially the argument of silence, though, that Ed and some other IBV full preterists have to deal with, which is a problem. Number eight, if all of the elect were elected after 70 AD, then election and thus salvation for people Jew or Gentile is over. Ed even admitted to this to me once. He accepted at least he kind of quit after he figured out what I was asking him, but 11 times out of the 23 times that the word eclectos is used, he agreed that it does in fact have an ending to it once the action is complete. And I tried to get him to finish the other 12 mentions of eclectos, but he declined to continue. So I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out why that he quit doing that and declined. But I'll let Ed can explain that one himself. To be honest, once one is elected and they are elected, there is no election after election ends. It does not go on infinitely, and there is no new election mentioned after the second coming. So IBV preterism does have a major problem and many implications to deal with there, salvation wise as well. On a side note, in the Old Testament, bakar and bakir for the Old Testament Hebrew also are a noun and a verb, and they also do not go on infinitely. So there is no help there either for the Old Testament as far as eclectos goes. So, number 9, IBV full preterism does not have any Jewish nor Christian sources for this rapture event. There's just not a single thing there. And that is a big argument of silence. This is why they try to use the rapture as an idea, but we also have this other problem that I'll get into later with that. But number 10, there are no surviving manuscripts found that are past 150 to 250 AD. For the supposed rapture, you would have to believe that after 70 AD or 66 AD, whatever date you want to put for this rapture event, you'd have to argue that a bunch of clueless apostates correctly translated and copied the Old Testament and the New Testament and didn't muck it all up to fit their goals. But the truth is, we have no surviving original manuscripts, and the IBV for Preterist does not seemingly yet have an answer for this. Maybe they will. Number 11, IBV for Preterism has sin and death reigning forever, for all eternity without any end. This is the same problem CBV for Preterism has. There's multiple verses, multiple scriptures, like in Isaiah 24 through 27, or Revelation itself, Revelation 21 through 20, all of these saying that sin and death will not reign forever, that they will end at some point. This is a big problem for all of full preterism, to be honest. But anyways, number 12, I've asked this before, but I didn't really get a very decent answer to this. But if you assume, and I presume this about most IBV full preterists, but I presume that they mostly don't believe that babies and the unborn are burning in hell. So I want to know why there was not a recorded event of a rapture in history for Jew and Gentile, why there was no massive disappearance of children in the first century. Because even though they didn't think much of children back then, this still would have been a recorded event. There would have been at least one royal, one somebody somewhere recording this event, because there would have been a massive disappearance of children back then. So, yeah, I think that's a problem. And, they may try to make some kind of argument for this, but I don't really see a good one going here, because if Christ does not elect all the elect, which includes babies and the unborn, this seems like another problem. But anyways, those are some things I thought I'd bring to